Good evening. This is Dale Lamb, Gardner Webb. This is Mels 604 on Wednesday nights. This is Wednesday, October the 5th. First thing I wanted to cover with you tonight is putting your competencies in TaskStream. As I told you last week, you have to do one proof, evidence, artifact for each of the 21 competencies. There's a folio page in TaskStream. I was with our classmate Jason Gano today in Cary. We weren't able to find his, but I think maybe we just didn't know where to look. I looked under web pages. According to the handbook, on folio and web page tab, there's a competency folio pictured here. Let's see. I think you can see that, where you go in and put in a proof or an evidence for each of the 21 competencies. Now, you remember you only have to do one, and new students have to do 3. Now, when you go in, I can kind of show you. Let's go to new share and go to TaskStream. One of my other interns is already putting work in. So when you get your folio, you can select request comments from me. Now, right now, all you can do is request comments and then share, publish. You don't have to share, publish right now. Let me be clear. If you put one in there, you request comments, and I will tell you if it's okay, and when that you can submit it. Now, you can't submit it right now. The submit box has not been added to TaskStream yet. I talked with the TaskStream people yesterday and today. They say it's coming, or they hope that they can get it in there. But right now, you can't submit them, but you can request comments and you can publish share later on. But for right now, just get them in there so I can comment. So when you put them in, so let's look at what Drew has done. So what Drew did, so under communication, 3 evidences. Again, you only have to do 1. So I'm going to let you pick whether that proof comes from artifact 1, artifact 6, or evidence artifact 1 or 6, or one that's just you choose, it's open-ended. And so, as you can see, Drew chose to present one from evidence 3, the skip, which would be an open-ended. That's fine. And so what I responded back to him, this submission is in the category of open-ended and meets the requirement. Please submit for evaluation now. So remember, let's go back and look. New share and go back to that handbook. Let's go back and see what acceptable forms of proof or evidences are. They can be video clips, electronic communication, meetings, photographs, presentations, letters, web pages. They can be documents from other evidences that you did, and that's what Drew did in this one. He took a document where he had submitted for the skip, and he used it as one of his evidences. Now, or one of what I would call artifacts, a product that was produced by the work that he did. Now, the question that you may have is if I choose to present one, let me go back to TaskStream. It tells me what my choices are. Again, you only have to pick one of these 3, but the 3 evidences are 3 artifacts that you would submit to satisfy the communication competency. Would have to come from 1, 6, or would be open-ended. And you asked me, well, Dale, I don't know what I would submit from 1 or 6. Can you give me some examples? I have those examples for you. So if you go to, let's see, if we go back to, let me find it here. Is it here? Okay. If we go back to TaskStream Tools and we go to Evidence Artifact Quick Reference Guide, what I have, the 3rd column of this document, of this little outline, is evidences or artifacts, things that you would have generate by doing that evidence. That's why we call them evidence artifacts. The written document is the evidence. The proof is called the artifact. And so for each of the 6 evidence artifacts, I have an artifact column over here, that things that you will have generated that show proof and you can use those like a communication, minutes of a meeting. There you go. These are, I have for each of the 6 evidence artifacts, I have separated out the artifacts for you. So when you go to resume share, so new share. So when you go, so you can see that now, this document that's under Task Stream Tools in Blackboard, what artifacts you will have generated from doing the 6 evidence artifacts. You can see I have them listed for you, and you can use those to satisfy a competency if that one particular one allows that particular evidence. So if we go back, new share, back to if we go back to new share, desktop, and then go back to task stream. As you can see for this one, so you can pick any of the artifacts that were generated in evidence artifact number 1 that I have on that sheet that would show communication. Minutes of a meeting would do that. You can pick any of the artifacts that were generated by doing the SOP, evidence artifact number 6. If there's one of those that would represent communication, or you can just find one on your own. And for each of these, as you go down the list, it tells you which evidence artifact, an artifact from which evidence artifact you can use if you choose to use one of those, and all of them give you the option for open-ended. Again, if you were doing all 3, I would have you do one of each, but since you're just doing one, you pick the one you want to do. All right, so conflict management, category of open-ended, meets requirements. Change management, open-ended. Creative thinking, this one. Now, look at this one. This is open-ended, ready to publish, share when appropriate. Okay, here's one. For customer focus, he could choose an artifact that came from evidence artifact 3, the skip, or evidence artifact 4, the OMA, or do an open-ended. So Drew chose one from evidence artifact 4, which is a schedule that he created. And that's one of the byproducts of doing that, is of doing a mini schedule. So these are fairly simple. They're things that you're already doing. Generally, you can use any of your evidence artifact work. It gives you a choice of a couple. Now, the open-ended, you say, but then where does the open-ended one come from? That comes from your intern activities. That 400 hours that you're doing with your principal. Now, I have a list of suggested activities. I believe I have that, again, in Blackboard under intern materials. Let's go back and look and see if that's correct. Let me go back to let's see, intern materials. Make sure you can still see this screen. List of suggested activities. That's what you should be doing during the 400 hours, and that's where the open-ended ones would come from. If you want to use a proof or an artifact of something that you did that was open, that open-ended one that is not related to one of the 6 evidence artifacts. So you can use any of the work that you're doing to generate an artifact from your evidence artifacts, or you can use any of the work that you're doing as an intern. It's not intended that you do any additional work for this. You've already generated these things. You've already created them, either by doing your 400 hours or doing your evidence artifact work. You just drop those into your folio. Again, your folio is found under web page and folios in task stream. Let's go back and look at that again. Again, on the main screen, whether it's your work page or any of the other pages that you're on in task stream, there's a folios and web pages. It's supposed to be there for you to drop it into. And then you can see that this is for you. There's just one. All right, so let's go down the list here. Delegation. All right, this is one that Drew put in earlier today. He could use one from evidence artifact 1, which is the app cell. 3 are open-ended, and you can see I've already told him it was an excellent example related to evidence artifact 1, which is the skip, the app cell, excuse me, and that he could, because he had a quarterly literacy documentation, and that's delegation. So he satisfied that one. Dialogue inquiry. Let's see if I've seen this one yet. Excellent example related to evidence artifact 2. It's a screenshot, and that's ready to publish, share when appropriate. I will tell him if and when they get the evaluate button put in, I will tell him at that time to go back in. That's why they stay red. I'll be sure to go back and check them, tell him when to go ahead and submit those for evaluation. But right now, you're just putting them in for comments, and then we'll just press the button later. Emotional intelligence. All right, this is one that I have not. Okay, I can see that this year's walkthrough instrument, so that's related to evidence artifact 2, where you use a walkthrough instrument in the AppTel. So I can see that that's it, and he's got his document there. And so having read this a few minutes ago, I know that this is appropriate. And so what I would do is I would tell him, excellent, related to artifact 2, ready to publish, share when appropriate. That means it's also ready for evaluation, and I give him that feedback, and that's how quick it is. It's things that you've already done, and they tell you right here in the directions which of the 6 evidence artifacts that you can bring one from, or open-ended means from your 400 hours. So hopefully that's a long-winded explanation, but hopefully that you get an understanding of that. Talking with Jason today, he said that Melissa found something where you had to do a lot of writing. I'm not aware that there's anything in the folio here that causes you to have to do a lot of writing. These are just drop things in kind of things. It might ask you to reflect on it. Again, look, this is a good reflection right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 10 minutes worth. I'm not expecting War and Peace here. If they ask you to write a little something along with your submission, 2 or 3, 4, 5 sentences is all I'm expecting. Most of the things will be self-explanatory. Although I have been accused of losing my mind with my hair. Generally, I can figure out what you've done and where it comes from, so you don't have to write me a long-winded explanation. Again, this is not supposed to take a whole lot of time. This takes place at that final conference where we spend 2 hours with your principal. So this is not supposed to take days to do these things, but that's how you put them in. You go to folios and web pages, you find your competency folio. It has a list like this. You drop them in just like you do put work in on your work page for evidence artifact work. You request comments from me. I tell you if it's appropriate, and we move on. That should be fairly simple. All right, my time is up on that. All right, now. I started making intern visits today. I was in the Cary, Chapel Hill area today. I'll be in Raleigh, I think, next week and some other places. If you're somewhere around and I've got time, give me a shout. I'll stop by and see you. Let me look and see where I'm going to be next week. Okay, next week, Monday the 10th, I'm going to be in Durham. And I think I am going to see, am I going to see any of our folks at that time? No. Next Thursday, I'm going to see Drew, who is work we're looking at now. Then I'm going to Columbia, South Carolina. I'm going to be in Charlotte on October 20th. Monday the 24th, I'm going to go see our classmate, Melissa, and I think maybe one more. I'll be in the Raleigh area on Monday the 24th. So, and then I'll be in Chester, South Carolina on Thursday the 27th. So if any of you are in these areas and you want to give me a shout, Wednesday, October 29th, I'll be back in Durham. That'd be a good day if you're in that Raleigh-Durham area, Chapel Hill. I could come by earlier and see you that day if you want somebody to come by and sit with you. But I'm sure that probably your clinical coach has already been to see you. If not, you need to make a contact with them so that you can get on this. Again, my interns It's very simple, and yours will be the same way. If you're having problems, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to intervene for you. Okay. I'm very happy with how things are going with submissions into Blackboard. Um, let me see. Let me go back to this one. So for week 6, if we had anybody that had not done their peer reviews for October 5th, that was component 2C. I know that was done a while back, and so I did not receive any links, or as far as I know, I didn't get any videos this week. Let me look in discussion board right quick to see. We're doing a really good job. Folks are participating in the discussion boards. People are putting their work in. I'm very pleased with that. Let's see, 2C. I've had 14 submissions in that one, so that's very good. Pretty much everybody has done that, so that was already done. I did not see any more videos in that that to show, so that's fine. I told you we don't have to do them just because they're on the list. If you've already done them, and as you can see from the list, they were already done, that's good. All right. Remember, keep up with your evidence artifact work. It is timely, getting it reviewed and reviewing other people's work. Other folks are depending on you. The other discussion boards, the weekly things, that's at your discretion when you want to do those. Folks looks like are keeping up pretty good with those also. We've got a good many submissions on them. Please remember that there is a page 2. All I have on there is if you have any questions, but if you have any questions, you can put them on there. Remember, once you have your work peer reviewed and ready for task stream, you can come back in and put it here in assignment Dropbox, and that allows me to give you a final grade on it. So that this is where you put the final ones after they're reviewed and they're ready for task stream. You drop them in assignment Dropbox, and I give you a grade on those. If you are a Zoom leader, make sure that you have contacted your people and you're keeping up with them. If you're not sure about the Zoom groups, remember they're under Zoom session 5. I have a spreadsheet there with the groups on it. So if we can go back to that, you can still see that. And so there's your spreadsheet to tell you who's in what group. All right. So weekly schedule. Let's look at where we are on our weekly schedule. We're at week 6. Okay. For week 6, this week, read chapter 1, goals and values, in curriculum leadership, and then review SMART goals, PowerPoint found in Zoom session 6. Create a document providing sources. Okay, gives you a little thing to do. More importantly, upload your AppTel component D for peer review. C reviews were all due, look like they were all in, and then put your B in task stream for evaluation. Remember, there are no comments, so that's where you should be this week. Sometime this week you need to get these things done. It's already Wednesday, so be on it. And then here's your task that you will do. Remember, next week we don't have a session because that'll be your fall break, but you do need to keep up with your evidence artifact work. So you upload your AppTel component E and discussion board for peer review. Now, y'all are all in 604. So if you're in 604 with me, you're not an add-on licensure person. You are a regular add-on licensure. People don't have a 604 class, so you know to keep up with all your work. What that means is whether we have class 1 week or whether we don't have class 1 week is immaterial. Your evidence artifact work continues on every week. So make sure you keep up with that. The only thing you get excused from next week is your classwork. Your evidence artifact work that's every day. That's every week. All right. So if you'll remember, as I just said, this week, what I wanted you to do and what I want to cover with you again briefly. Let me close that out. Remember, here's your quick reference guide for your artifacts. Be put in your folio for competencies. Those can be found under TaskStream Tools. The list of suggested activities can be found that you could pull from to put in for proofs of competency or artifacts for competency, or under intern materials. This week, what I'm looking for this week is for you to look over the SMART goals PowerPoint that I have in here, remembering how to develop SMART goals. This is part and parcel of PLC work. This is the heart of curriculum. Curriculum is content and process. Content, what you're going to do, and process is how you're going to do it. SMART goals speak to both of those. I've shown you this PowerPoint before. I'm not going to belabor the point tonight, but I really want you to put this in your toolbox. This is a good one. This is probably the most important tool that you have in terms of curriculum. Your goals must be specific, strategic, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and time-bound. And it starts with consulting your data, as you know. Dig deep, get specific. This is basically what you did in the app cell, where you did your most pressing need by looking at your standardized test scores. And this gives you a step-by-step on how you do it, if you follow this, and how to set those up and how to write those goals, how to improve. This is a good one. I won't go over it in detail, but this is a good one. You should spend some time with that one and download it somewhere and save it so that you can use it for work, especially if you're working PLCs and you're trying to set goals in terms of instruction, curriculum instruction. All right. Take some time, look at the things that I have for you over here on the menu in Blackboard again. There's your weekly schedule. Keep up with your evidence artifact work under TaskStream Tools. I have that quick reference guide that tells you what artifacts will be produced by doing the 6 evidence artifacts that would be acceptable to use as proof of accomplishing your competencies in your competency folio. Intern materials has the list of suggested activities that would generate artifacts that could be used in your folio. So again, it's not just stuff you're pulling out of the air, it's things that you've already done. Remember, when you submit final versions of any of the 6 evidence artifacts in TaskStream, you'll have to write a summary and descriptor. Remember, under TaskStream Tools, I have a document how to write summaries and descriptors. And so there's a place for you to put them with the final submission for each of the 6 evidence artifacts. If you're having problems with that, let me know, and I'll either come to you or we'll do a Zoom session and I'll go over that with you. All right. Keep up with your discussion boards in terms of, don't get too far behind on the weeklies. It's up to you, but don't get too far behind. Next week might be a good week to kind of catch up on those. We won't have any class activities for you to do next week, no any reading. It might be a good time to catch up on your discussion boards. All right. Again, I'm pleased with the progress all of you are making, the turn-ins that I'm seeing. Hopefully before long, in one of these weeks that I have set aside, hopefully we'll get some more peer reviews for us to view online. Remember, follow those, the new handbook, which is found under course overview. The new handbook tells you how to do a Zoom review. It also tells you how to create a YouTube channel and upload it. So you just send us the link. That's all in the new candidate handbook here under course overview. All right, I see my time is up. I'm trying to do 30 minutes on these nights and not talk so long. I see my time is up. I'll post this later on YouTube for you to watch. If you have questions, do not hesitate to call or email. Jason, a personal note, I had a great time in Cary today. Um, I have another student, met a new student today, Shauna Martin over in Chapel Hill. Had a great time with her today. A lot of hospitality. If I can get by and see you, I'll be glad to. Just let me know. Y'all have a good week. I will see you in 2 weeks from tonight. Have a good fall break next week. Thanks again.